So I came to the LA seminar, and before coming, I had a lot of problems, and I was determined about, getting on the hot seat and talking about my problems, and didn't work out that way. But as the chat went on, I was less eager to talk about my problems. I just found myself thinking, I don't really want to go up there now and talk about my problems anymore. And then I kind of gave up and I stopped raising my hand because I'm like, I don't want to go up there and talk. It started to just feel better and it moved. And I'm like, fuck this. This is... So I'm just happy right now. This is cool. So afterwards, I just kind of very gently. I didn't have a lot of drive to get into alignment, but I realized that I didn't want to fix my stuff. I just wanted to find a different state from which to look at things.
That's a powerful statement, because when you decide you're going to fix it, you fixate on it and increase it and add another engine to that end of the train.
Right. So I was very gentle with it and kind of riding on the wave of the seminar. The following week, I turned around so many amazing things, literally things that I've been working on for a lot of time just started to click, and people would tell me, perfect timing for this. This is working out great. I'm like, wow.
That's always the state that you're in. You have a whole lot of things piled up in your vortex ready for you to allow them in. But it takes some shifting of the level of your resistance for them to get in. And so you understand all of this perfectly, don't you? You heard the words, they sort of made sense, then you lived the experience which emphasized and compounded the words, and now you have an understanding that's even more than before, because words don't really teach. It's life experience, yes?
Yeah. So some things started to really respond in my life. And then as things got a little more specific, I started noticing myself falling off the wagon a little bit. And just to add another section you're gonna have to edit out, I just don't wanna fuck it up too much. So some of these subjects...
Well, what is it about our words you can't get it wrong that you can't hear? One of the reasons that we wanted to have this conversation with you is because a lot of you, as you listen to us talk about being a deliberate creator, you get overly aware of the thoughts that you are thinking. It makes you guarded rather than flowing. And that's why we began to, instead of calling this the science of deliberate creation, we began calling it the art of allowing, because we wanted to put more emphasis upon you understanding that your work is, you got to understand from everything that we've said already today, that your vortex is full of stuff you want, and you just don't have to struggle over that anymore. So the whole conversation is, how do I prepare myself for the receiving of the inspiration or the intuition or the instinct or whatever you want to call it, to be in the right place at the right time? How do I prepare myself? How do I prepare my receiver? It's like the broadcast tower is already got it going on, and it's broadcasting in a powerful way, and therefore I no longer need a lot of contrast to figure out what I want. I don't need a lot of conversations with a lot of people to determine what I want. I've got a vortex full of things that are ready to pop for me. How do I get myself ready for what's ready for me? That's the question that you want to ask. How do I get ready? How do I get ready? And even a conversation about how I thought I would complain, but I decided not to complain, is still a conversation that's not very valuable to you. Don't spend too much time psychoanalyzing it or overanalyzing it. Now, if you have stories to tell yourself or others about the things that were clicking into place, those are really good stories to tell. And one of the things, because of those who are having experiences like you are having, that we've begun doing, we're asking you to just chill out more. In fact, sometimes we think that the fewer words that we are offering to you, then the less psychoanalytical you'll be about your own life experience. When you begin saying things like, I don't want to mess my experience up, that tells us you're thinking too much about it. And there is a fine line between being a deliberate creator and being so fussy about what you're doing that you're shooting yourself in the foot by overanalyzing things, you see. You have so many things that are flowing to you and through you. It's just a matter of relaxing and allowing them to flow. Really, there isn't anything more for you to do right now. You don't need to think more about what you want. You don't need to make long lists of what you want. You don't even need to define what you want, because your vortex understands it and your inner being does too. You just want to be ready to recognize it as it comes, which means just look for the positive aspects. You do that. Appreciate the good things that come to you. Don't try to teach a lot of others about it, because then you get all mixed up in their energy. And that's part of the thing that happens with you in the industry that you're in. There's a lot of conversation about what's not working all around you. And there's a lot of wanting to get attention. That's part of the reason that you want to talk about it. You want to get attention about it, you see. But what you want to do, here's a really good thing to understand. You don't seek any attention whatsoever unless you know for sure you're flying high. And when you're flying high, look for all the attention you can get, and then watch what happens. And if you're not flying so high, then lay a little low. Good enough?
I have one little clarification on something. Maybe it'll tie in, but my favorite book has been Asking It Is Given, and I really found it by such a wonderful convergence of factors. It fell in my lap, and I could never really wrap my mind, probably I'm overthinking it too, around the word given. I always saw this creative process as I am tuned in, therefore is around me. And when I think of given, it kind of implies some kind of like external, that it throws me off a little.
Well, we mean it exactly that way, because universal forces come into being on your behalf at an extraordinary proportion. Did you think it should say, ask and I will earn it? Ask and I will dig it up myself, all by myself, and I will get all 100% of the credit for it? Did you think it was ask and I will find where it's buried in the backyard and nobody will ever know? Ask and it is given means ask and the universe will yield to me the precision of that which I ask for. Ask and it is given. We would like it to be a longer title. Ask and it is given immediately and in precise proportion to the power with which I ask, by the non-physical energies of the universe, who know where everything is in relationship to what I'm asking for, who also know all cooperative components, who know every piece of the unfolding of this. So when I ask, it is given. It is given. It is given. But the reason that throws most people is they say, well, I've asked, where is it? I've asked and you say it's been given, or it is given. Where is it? And we say, it's in the vortex. Where are you? And you say, I'm out here. I want it to come out where I am. We say, then you have to put on your vibrational eyes so that you will be able to see what has been given. And you say, but I thought you were just going to give it to me. And we say, it's given. Now you have to translate it into the physical equivalent, you see. You have to translate that which has been given into the things that you want. It's a much longer title than people want. But is that helpful?
Very much so. I really am overanalyzing, trying to find solutions where the better attitude for me, I guess.
So do you think that you didn't believe that when you asked it was given?
I believe that when I asked, the world reflects it already. So it already kind of is around me. But then my attitude was more kind of figuring out how to get there somehow. So it was still tricky. I didn't have trouble with the universe, with the given, and in the sense of it's projected onto me, but it implied kind of like an external force wanting to give versus...
You see, you're making a really strong point, and we want to chew on this just a little bit, because while you are consciousness and while you are the creator of your own reality, it's a much more accurate statement to say you are more than you know yourself to be, and you are the co-creator of your own reality. It would even be more accurate to say you are the vibrational attractor of your own reality. You are the receiver of your own reality. You are the contour of the energy which allows your own reality. And so we use a lot of different words, and we've offered a lot of different processes to help you to understand that it's not an easy thing to go from someone who's been using your physical senses to understand your world to being asked to understand vibrations that you can't see, that you can only feel, to understand your world. We know that's a lot to ask, and yet until we ask it, it isn't given. And until you do it, then you have no consistency in the way you are able to orchestrate your own life experience. And so words are tricky and interesting because people use the same words and mean different things. And that's why we come at it from so many different directions, because we're wanting you to find the resonance with what you really know. The thing that we count on, the thing that we know for sure, is that you are a source energy being in this physical body, and the part of you that knows this stuff is much more dominant than the part of you that is blocking it. And so we know that as you are willing to listen to our descriptions and listen to our explanation, that bit by bit you come into full resonance with what you know. And it isn't that you remember it, it's that you rediscover it in your now. It's that your life reflects it back to you over and over again. We really like it when we can have a conversation which activates some powerful questions within you, because we know that once a powerful question is activated, that your life is going to yield to you the answers to it. So more answers come to you in the days and weeks that follow an event like this than actually happen in the event. What mostly happens in the event is a vibrational shifting. And then that vibrational shifting is what causes you to be different in the world. Your point of attraction only has to shift a little bit in order for you to have a whole set of differing experiences. And then our desire is that you then make the correlation between your shifting and what comes. And we want you unequivocally to take credit for your shifting. And that's the point that you're trying to make here with us. You don't want to say, ask and somebody else has given it to me.
Exactly, yeah.
You want to say, I'm going to achieve a vibrational vantage point, and by the natural laws of the universe, this consequence is going to come. And that's how it comes. And we take your point and we agree with it completely.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks.